Great, wonderful.
Hello, Manuela Bosch. Welcome to the podcast of today. And today we'll be talking about what our passion is actually. And I think that's mostly what you do, and that's integrative communication and processes. But nobody really knows what it is. Can you give us a quick glimpse of what it entails, according to you?
Mm. First of all, thank you very much, Jessica, for inviting me to participate in your podcast.
Welcome.
I'm very happy to talk with you about that topic. So, first of all, there are these two words: processes and integration, and or integrative. And with processes, I mean to look at the how to do things. We are very, very much focused in our world on results. So we know we want to achieve a certain profit, or we know we want to achieve a certain success. Um, but we are not so much looking at how we want to do it. And I believe that the process, the way to reach your goal, is as important as the actual result, and that both are interdependent. So, first of all, it's to support the how.
So great.
And
So it's really it's all about the process, or more or less all about the process, and not so much about going for your goals straight forward. You might miss a lot on the way.
yeah, it's both actually, and that's what I mean by integrative. It's
Mm-hmm.
holding the question where you want to go, the question of the issue of the challenge, and at the same time look at how you do it. How are the relationships, for example, in your team?
Mm-hmm.
How do you integrate all parts, all stakeholders, all resources in a
Mm-hmm.
way that you reach the goal, and at the same time you have a fair, inspiring, constructive environment.
All right. Yeah, I can definitely see similarities there, and I totally agree with you. However, I first would like to introduce you a little bit more before we get into the topic straight away. I was a little bit a rebel with asking you straight away what integrative communication means. Um, so, Manuela, we met like maybe almost like was it a year ago? Yeah, I think it's October last year. We met at a social media conference.
Yes, it's the social media week at the wonderful supermarket space in Berlin, where they host a lot of events with a great future potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually met with Ella as well. And yeah, they're doing great at supermarket. They just moved, as you might know. And what was your aim of being at the? Because you hosted a workshop as well. I've joined that last year. Can you recall what the workshop was about and where you were at that stage?
Which of the many workshops I'm offering have you attended? You have to remember me. You
It
have to
was,
remind me,
I think
Jessica.
it was with one of your colleagues, and it was about also about communication and about it was a little bit also about meditation. You find kind of a middle way, and you did some harvesting as well.
So
Um,
you actually attended the social presencing theater workshop that we are talking about today. I
mhm.
mean, what you have been like. I remember we have been very, very like inspired when we met each other, because we like, oh yes, exactly, yeah, yeah, that's what we have to look at. We have to look at this all this potential that is in the room that you don't see when you just focused on your current objective, on your to-do list.
Mhm.
So and then you came to visit our collaborative co-working space, um, Think Farm, Berlin,
Yeah, yeah,
to host
true.
the Host to Transform session. So,
Exactly.
so I actually attended your workshop.
As well. Yeah, yeah, we attended both of our workshops. Yeah, I remember it was at it was, well, it doesn't really matter where it was, but you were there with a colleague and you introduced me to your approach of Vanilla Way. And but now you're working with presencing. I think it's the method of ULab, if I'm correct.
It's part of the framework of Theory U.
And what did you integrate it? Because I did join the MOOC, which is an online course of ULab about presencing and how you can connect on a deeper level from the individual point of view, but also tapping into your unconscious and become more conscious of what drives you, and then find the connection again. Is that also where you tap into to the whole process of the you, or is there another approach?
Yes, yes, exactly. It works with the U theory that has also the subtitle Transforming Business, Society, and Self. So I find it really interesting to ask yourself the question, what's my role, what's my part in solving complex social issues and support systemic change. And I think there are many tools and methods that support that. One, for example, is dragon dreaming. I'm used to work with a lot. And also the Theory U framework in general. And there are a lot of beautiful methods inside about communicating with each other, about creative writing, many different playful approaches, I would say, that focus on an open mind and open heart. Though what I was always missing in these approaches is really actually looking at this huge field of non-verbal communication, to really not only use your open mind and open heart, but use your whole body. Use your whole body as a resource. And this is where social presencing theater comes in. I find it's a really great addition to all the tools and practices that are there, that based on verbal communication, on creative thinking, even using your hands, design thinking. It's really bringing in something to make this whole processes complete. And I see a benefit like on three levels. When you practice social presencing theater as an individual, you can work on your mindfulness and your awareness that it becomes more sensitive. You broaden your perspectives. You get new perspectives on individuals' challenges. So this is one thing. And at the same time, it's also working really well for groups. So I work a lot with groups. And sometimes it really needs a space of, where you're not coming together to achieve something specific. And social presencing theater gives a framework to come together as a group and just be together as you are, and coming together in a very aware, a very mindful state, without like being forced and being kind of a meditation or so. It's actually, actually very relaxed, being together in a very, very simple framework that you can use to generate information about your group that are usually under the surface. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is that you can really use that tool, that methodology, that practice to look at systemic challenges. systemic challenges in your organization, in your project team, and so on, and generate information based on body awareness that you can use then further to really work on complex challenges related to your organization or social movement and so on.
Beautiful. Yeah, really well said. And I also work with a lot of what we call applied improvisation theater, and I haven't got the chance to join of the one of the presencing theater workshops, if I can call it like that. So I really wonder what the overlap is, because we also do a lot of exercises that are nonverbal, and then you can actually reflect on your own behavior or on your own unconscious or your own judgments with the group, which makes it really safe and sometimes even really ironical and funny. It's not super heavy or spiritual at all. And from that acknowledgement or new information about yourself and the group, you can choose new ways of being or practicing, choosing another path in your career, really concrete, or communicating in a different way with people that is most probably more constructive. So can you give a little example of this non-verbal exercise you do and the impact, or is it kind of impossible to explain?
Yeah, I have always the challenge to really explain what it is because it's really so much about diving into that space that you don't see and that you don't hear. Like, that space that actually matter, but you cannot grasp it. When you have, I like this example, when you have a room, what you see of a room are the walls, the four walls, the ceiling, the yeah, the ground. But what actually matters of the room, what makes the room a room, is the empty space in between. So it's about really changing your awareness and your perception to get more into that. So maybe this is a difference of impro theater, as you might be more focused on what you actually see in that practice. Even though I think there are many similarities, and it's also interesting to talk more about similarities and then differences. Maybe what's also similar is that you work with embodiment. Like in theater, in really true, authentic pieces, like the actors really embody what they want to represent. So in terms of presencing theater, it's not about embodying what you want to be, you're embodying what you are. You play, especially with, for example, stuck situation. You have a situation in your life related to others because it's a stuck situation in an organization, for example, and you embody this stuck. And you receive feedback from the group. So you can only do this actually together with a group. Feedback, what they actually see in your stuck when you embody it with your body.
Yeah. Yeah, I see another big commonality, what maybe inspires us, and that's this whole process of feedback with the group. I mean, I'm a big fan of yoga, meditation, but I always, I search for the nuances. What is different? What are the commonalities? And I think maybe the focus of those kind of practices can be really focused on their internal connection with themselves. And what we do, I think, with reflection with the group, is that you also connect in new ways with other people on the spot, right? And not through an internal process. And then I always give the example of last year I was in India and I joined one of those yoga classes, and I'm not super experienced in that, but anyways. And after the yoga class, I stepped into reality again, and all the rickshaws were on the street, and it was super crowded. People were screaming and yelling at one and the other. And then I was, was some kind of light bulb moment, like, what the heck are we doing? We're here trying to be all in sync with ourselves and to maybe to be the best you can. And then you step into daily reality and you already feel those mismatches, and yeah, you're not in the same space. So how do you challenge that when you've been through the whole process of, for example, presencing theater, and then step into reality again or daily life? What's the
Yeah, thank you so much for the story, because this is actually what I love about social presencing theater, that it is exactly dealing with that, to really not practice mindfulness and awareness as something you do like when you sit for meditation. It's something you do always, in any moment. You're invited to be mindful and aware what's going on. And when we kind of meditate or practice, we are invited to leave our eyes open, to stay connected with what actually is. And at the same time, leave our, like we are so focused on our eyes, to observe, to see with our eyes, with our sharp eyes, that we forget to use all of our antennas we have, actually to observe.
And also,
And
do you also mean that to listen to your intuition more, maybe, or is that not really how you would verbalize it?
maybe you can draw similarities to this concept of intuition, because what I understood from that research I was reading about intuition is that it is implicit knowledge that's somewhere stored in our body. So by embodying stuck situation, we uh, um, we put inside knowledge to the outside. So in that sense, we communicate our intuition.
Yeah, yeah. And intuition is different from judgments.
Exactly, and that's actually what I love most about SPT, how you call it short, is that all the communication you do, you aim to not interpret. Like, you just share your observations, you just share your feelings. All feelings, all observations are valid. And I tell you, practicing just one afternoon social presence in theater brings you in such a relaxed state, because actually what makes you so tired, or what makes me, speaking for myself, so tired, is trying to rationalize and understand and make sense all the time of everything. To
Why are
just
we
that.
capable to? I sometimes wonder, yeah, what's the use? Yeah, yeah, thinking,
I
thinking,
mean, it's
thinking.
important, but like, it all needs a balance.
Yeah,
And to actually, when you're stuck, maybe it's because of that, because you're too much focusing on a certain aspect, and you leave away all the other aspects and all the other possibilities and perspectives. And social presencing theater helps you exactly in that point, to open up and look at other possibilities, without the aim, and this is important, without the aim on fixing it. Like, social presencing theater is not the new coaching tool to fix your problems. It's really an invitation to stay open.
yeah, yeah. Is it? Could you, if you, I mean, if people do not really know about this concept, just to use a metaphor, could it be like some kind of group yoga or group consciousness, collective consciousness you exchange? Or did you find a metaphor for people to? Well, I love the metaphor of the walls, of course, but something that maybe already exists as a really accepted tool for everyone to use.
I I think that group meditation yeah, it still leaves too much room for interpretation, but it goes in that direction. It's maybe a playful, artful way of group meditation. Yes, yes,
Okay.
I can call it that by that. By experiencing silence, by being active, by dancing, by talking, by forming social culture, social sculptures, meditating at the same time.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, the other day I was actually thinking of having a why we're not dancing. So yeah, only in the evenings on a Saturday evening maybe. But every organization should have next to their smoking area a dancing area to just relax and yeah get into your body and well have all the energy and make creative thinking. To yeah more active actually to activate that process. Um, but I was also wondering because with Hosted Transform, we really work on transformation. It's already in the word, of course, and it's unlocking personal transformation, team on a team level, organizational level, and even societal level. And there's people that hosted sessions. At the moment, actually, someone in Brazil for yeah a village that works with a lot of stakeholders and wanna start some kind of yeah they used to be orphans, but now they are grown-ups, and they want to provide them, yeah, more tools to provide them to activate actually their potential. That's how I should call it, to unlock their own potential. So they want to start a little program, and that has to be agreed upon to many stakeholders. So I provided her some exercises today to get those stakeholders in tune. You know, no decision making yet, just to get to know each other. And for me, that's a step to societal change too, you know, because there's people from the business world, there's people from the government, there's people that may be homeless, but is one of the potential, well, participants of the program. And so it's from, and because she, the person that provides those sessions, has gone through a transformation herself in her life, she can provide it really well, and she knows where she's coming from. And I was wondering, I think we had a conversation before, but it's nice for also the listeners to understand where you are coming from. And I would like to invite you to tell a little bit about your background and how did you came, yeah, how did you ended up, how did you started to work with presencing theater and everything you do in Vanilla Way as well. How come? What was your transformation?
I'm actually coming from advertising industries. I've been working there as a account manager, project manager, with ups and downs, and yeah, I learned a lot there. I had a lot of fun, and I suffered also a lot. And I really had a point where I had to drop out because of the way we were treated as a team, the way decisions were made. And my boss asked me by then, how can we make it different? And I didn't have the question. I really didn't have the question. So I was holding this question. I was traveling in India as a sabbatical, and then I understood, okay, it's actually not about either or, it's about both and finding a balance between things. It's not about activism or business. It's about activism in business and and so on. And I was looking for how to offer my skills and my work in communication, advertising, project development to alternative projects. And I realized that especially like with projects where you don't have a boss, where you don't have a certain budget, some organization that holds it, it needs specific skills. And that's where I got in touch with Dragon Dreaming Project Design. That's a very holistic approach to design collaborative projects that serve personal development, community building, and working on a certain theme. serving the earth, the society. And it integrates actually so many methods that exist anyway. It's just like a pattern that, yeah, um, John Croft, the founder, the co-founder, found out. And it also, like in that, also like meditation fits. In that, also business planning fits. In that, theoretical approaches fit. In that, just doing, practice, action, activism fits. And that inspired me a lot, especially like transformed me a lot, because it empowered me to really live my dreams, to understand me how to realize my dreams. And on that way, practicing that myself, offering it to projects, yeah, like as a facilitator, and also being part of many different movements and global organizations like the Dragon Dreaming movement itself, or the collaborative co-working space Think Farm. Yeah, I realized, okay, how actually to integrate, that's where the word integration comes in, actually all the things I love. So it makes sense how I can integrate like contact improvisation dance and meditation with putting together a business model canvas. And yeah, this is like, yeah, so the question was about my path. So my path is, I think I'm confusing maybe sometimes people, because I'm involved in so many different things that seem to be opponents. And maybe my curiosity, yeah, and my background of business and activist world and subculture made it possible to go that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's also maybe partly unconsciously that also made us that we connected so easily. I also have a background in working for the Green Party, and in the last 4 years I've worked at business schools, even a private business school that is quite expensive and is in certain ways maybe the opponent of the Green Party. But in the end, it's always about the people and this kind of third thing in the middle, in the between of us. That space, that empty space between the four walls. What we do with that, rather than what label it has. Because I heard good and bad stories about every sector, NGO world, the Green Party world, the business world, but also good. Yeah, it's really what you make of it and what you do with the people, and if you can flourish together and unlock each other's potential, I think. And then whatever you do, well, maybe certain sectors for me would not be really something I would love to work in, but who knows, if you can transform people to become the best person they can be, I think it's always a good cause to work for.
Yes, I admire your work a lot. I especially love that the tools that host to transform, that's at least a part of your work I know, offers that they are so really kind of down to earth, that they have such a low threshold, that you don't have to engage in a week-long workshop to understand it. You don't have to be like kind of really open to experience something new. Yeah, you just have to be a little bit curious and give 10 minutes of your time, and you can really, yeah, experience what it is about. So yeah.
Yeah, that was also, or that's still my aim, to really make this transformation, to go in depth, but do not make it too spiritual or too complex for people, or it takes too much time or too much budget, and low threshold enough for people to adopt the skills. And at the moment we're working on an online program, and I'm experimenting with it right now, and it's pretty exciting. But today, like I said, in Brazil, somebody launched a session. Somebody at a school in the middle of the Netherlands launched a session with 50 German students, actually. So it's I already make myself missable, and that's that's quite amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I want to go with Vanilla Way as well. So that's actually where I am at which point I am at the moment. It's really about now spreading out the wings. Like I've been doing this work the last 5 years, self-employed, with a lot of people in a large network. Done a lot of projects together with others and with teams and so on, really living what I preach, trying to at least. And still, I feel at the moment it's about transforming Vanilla Way in a real agency, where there's a whole team behind, and to bring out a product that can reach the masses.
Yeah.
So I was really thinking about, not only thinking about, I got visions about how to make transformation mainstream. So what does it need to make transformation mainstream? I think it needs a low threshold product.
Yeah.
Many people are not willing to go one weekend into a workshop. They don't even understand what we are talking about. I wonder who is understanding what we are talking about at the moment. So you
Please
need
send
a
us questions if you don't.
so I was wondering what does it need,
Yeah.
and my idea is to launch a game. To
Nice.
launch a game where people learn how to play win-win-win.
Yeah.
How
Great.
to play win-win-win and create social businesses, create transition towns, create eco-villages by playing win-win-win.
Nice. So they can experience that it's not rocket science. For me, win-win-win is really like an obvious thing, because you want, even if from an egocentric point of view, because you want to leave some, how do you call it, footsteps, or what's the word? My head is really full today. You want to leave some leverage for people behind you or in the future. And I've noticed that I cannot really work on projects anymore that are only there for that aim. Like, for example, I've been a lecturer again for the last couple of 2 months. I've lectured at really cool studies. It's called International Business Innovation Studies. A very cool, very new, brand new, and open-minded study. But still, I felt like what I'm saying right now is not really, it's coaching on the moment, which is great, but it doesn't really, yeah, it's not sticking along with the students. So I actually started to work with videos already, like flipping the classroom, all those things, and explaining how they have to hand in assessments and all that. So I could really use my me skills in during the sessions and didn't have to talk about the curriculum so much. But yeah, that's I've really noticed this transformation in myself, that I really want to leave leverage. Yeah. So people can work with it themselves and make it their own, however they want to use it, like a tool. So let's see. Yeah, we have a few more minutes actually. They told me that podcasts should take about 35 minutes. But it's really interesting. So you have worked in business life, and now you made a transformation. Since 5 years, you said, to facilitate in this space of integrative communication and processes, and now you're working towards a product. And what was also really interesting, I saw you are working on a crowdfunding project at the moment. Can you explain me a little bit about that? And is it helping you getting to the steps nearer to this product?
Yes, exactly. It's part of it. So I really feel that one resource to develop the next stage of Vanilla Way as an agency providing facilitation, but also launching this new product, this game, social presencing theater will play a great role. Part of the game will also be role play. And at the same time, in the part of facilitating transformative processes in existing teams or teams that want to form, social presencing theater is also playing an important role. So I'm running a campaign to fund the year-long advanced training in social presencing theater in the US for myself to develop that vision further.
Where about in the States, and why over there?
So this training is offered by the Presencing Institute by the co-founder Arawana Hayashi herself. So I'm really interested to learn from them, to learn from her. And at the same time, I'm really interested to connect with that worldwide group, that worldwide community of people practicing that and learning that. I see a huge potential in networking. I'm a big networker, seeing links, connecting persons. And also, it's about really this vision of launching something that goes mainstream. Like many mainstream products, many great mainstream products come from Silicon Valley or other parts in the US. And I have a certain feeling that there is a great potential in connecting Vanilla Way with the US. And that's what it is about. And if you are interested, if anyone is interested, I'm having a lot of beautiful perks, a lot of beautiful gifts offered through that crowdfunding campaign, hosted in Germany, hosted in the US, or you have certain products, like also an audio course, for example, where you can experience part of my work.
Oh, that's great. I'm interested. So I will provide the website on this podcast, but maybe you can recall it. What's the website where they can go, or is it really long?
It's an Indiegogo campaign.
Here you go.
Yeah. So it's an Indiegogo campaign titled with Manuela sharing her wisdom.
Great.
And of course, you can also find the link on my website, www.vanillaway.net.
So that's maybe the easiest way. Yeah. Great. I've also integrated into the podcast. So how much time is left?
Like my Skype says, it's already 44 minutes.
And I'm talking about your crowdfunding campaign.
Okay.
But that's really sweet. You're already the host. You definitely have to become a practitioner. You're too much of a host.
It's 12 days, so it's really 12 exciting days left, and I actually really need all support because I've been focusing so much in putting together wonderful perks in collaboration with many people of my network that I'm actually not like really enough behind, I feel, in really spreading the word. So anyone who is listening to that, please
it's
have
Monday,
a look.
14th of December, and it finishes at
the second Christmas day.
Okay, 2nd of Christmas. Okay, so we can all relax during Christmas and then still make sure that we buy one of your perks.
Yes, wonderful.
Great. So, Manuela, I'm sure I will be back in Berlin soon. There's actually really cheap buses driving there. Have you heard of the Flixbus?
Yes.
It's really nice. So I can recommend to everyone to join me on the Flixbus going to visit you. And is there anything anything that I might have skipped my mind, or that you would like to contribute or say? It's really short to really touch upon everything that we are working on, but
what I want to share is that I invite everybody to reach out to me and to contact me personally to learn more about what I have to offer. because it's so individual, and I get a lot of ideas when I just talk 10 minutes to people. So anyone who is curious, yeah, please feel free to contact me.
Cool. And maybe one last question for you, a little bit amongst the lines of transformation. So, what is your purpose? Like, what is your mission that you would like to accomplish, and which is not so much, connected to products or services, but what is your drive as a person?
Recently, during the U Lab, this Theory U massive online course, I actually got it to the point. Actually, what I really want, personally for me, and also hopefully, like I'm also happy others, is actually just to be. Just to be in a state of where I'm not craving for anything, where I'm content and can celebrate the existence. And why am I doing them so much? I wondered. And it's actually about creating places, creating spaces, creating frameworks that allow us to be.
Beautiful. Yes. So thank you very much. I think I do not want to add anything to that. So thank you so much for your time, and let's speak soon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Jessica, for your openness and curiosity and this possibility. And I hope to see you soon in Berlin, in Amsterdam, or somewhere else in the world.
For sure. Biggest kiss. Ciao, ciao.
Mwah. Bye bye.